Right, Merry Christmas, everybody. Ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Welcome to the laid back Anglo Gang Boxing Day special. Zero preparation. SJJ giving us the echo. He hasn't sorted his fucking
What?
mic out.
No, it's not me. It's you. It must be you. You've got a tab open or something.
Oh, it's not
What?
me.
These
Oh,
amateurs,
it's
bro.
me. It's me. Oh my god. It
Fucking
is
hell.
me.
2 weeks off, and this is what happens.
Oh my, that is embarrassing. Very unprofessional. So quick to
Has
blame
anybody
you as
shown
well,
up?
wasn't I?
Has anybody shown up? Or have we lost our audience after a week?
I think we've lost our audience. We've got 5 people watching.
Oh
That's
my
it.
god, bro.
They've all overdosed on mince pies. So like
That's real. Well,
that
I've
is a
cracked
real.
open a monster. I'm just about to slam this monster.
I've got a relentless fruit punch. But I really do think like the Christmas experience really is just like overdosing on sugar. That's kind of what it's all
Oh
about.
yeah, absolutely.
You eat a bunch of food, shove a bunch of sugar into your face so that you can like stay awake even though you've eaten a lot of food. But then of course you get the sugar crash and then you're just kind of like zoned out. And then you got like family, and it's like, oh fucking, these people, I've got to talk to them, and
Yeah. The thing that everybody's buying at the moment is biscuits. Have you had any biscuits brought
No.
to you? No. Fucking hell.
No.
Who's brought me biscuits? I don't even eat
No,
biscuits.
I like biscuits. I haven't had any this year for Christmas though. No.
You've been
Yeah,
a bad boy.
I have. I had pasta for Christmas, and everyone was really upset with me. But I was just like,
Oh.
fuck it. It's easy to cook, and I can't be asked.
Steve Laws said anybody who had a curry for Christmas Day needs to be deported.
Well, I didn't have a curry. I had pasta. That's European food, so I should be okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll let you off.
Yeah, and I had like a sweet and sour Thai curry today, which was awful. It really sucked, so I won't be doing that again.
Yeah, sweet and sour. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, it was awful.
That reminds me of Thai food.
That was my Christmas. I watched a movie for Christmas. I watched that new one with flipping. Oh god, the horror one with I forget his name, Hugh Grant in it. And it started off. It was good. Like I don't want to spoil it. Maybe I should spoil it for people. I don't know. Should I spoil it for people? I don't know. But it's good. The first half is good. Really good build up. Really good tension. Good dialogue. Creepy. You invest in the characters. The 2 young girls. You want them to survive this. They're really nice Christian girls. And he's obviously a cunt. And you're like, oh no, but then the second half, it just like gets stupid. And I just can't tolerate it when a film is just stupid. So it's shit. Spoiled my Christmas, to be honest with you. I fucking hate it when a movie's shit. This is why usually on Christmas I'll watch a film that I've already seen.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's how you got to do it. That's how you got to roll with Christmas. You got to watch something which is a classic, and then you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, well, I haven't done that. I heard everybody was watching The King's Speech. Was that on? And Wallace and Gromit.
Apparently, Wallace and Gromit has gone woke.
Oh,
So that, yeah, it's got a black lady
bad
in it.
news. Bad
Yeah,
news.
people are complaining about the King's Speech, saying that was woke. I haven't listened to it. I listened to a little clip that people posted. Didn't seem that woke to me. Didn't seem any.
No, I meant the film, The King's Speech. Apparently that was on the TV.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the story of that, to be honest. What was that during?
Yeah, that's
Second World War.
Stata.
Was that the Nazi king?
Well, one king was forced to resign, or just
Yeah.
abdicate. Sorry, because he
Which
married.
one went to meet Adolf Hitler?
I think the one that resigned because he married Miss
Right.
Simpson, didn't he? He married an American who was already divorced, and that was a big no-no
Yes,
back in
that's
those
it.
days. And so he was forced to abdicate, and so his brother took over, but his brother had a stutter, and he had to do the speech at the beginning of the war, and so he had this guy that helped him. Yeah, Edward. They were all called Edward though. It's like we've got like 5 kings in a row called Edward, just like went back and forth. Edward William. Anyway, whatever. So it just gets confusing. Yeah, it's all right. It's a good film.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's get some serious content. Serious content on the Anglo Gang. We've got the news. So we got reform, right?
Yes.
We've got the Nick Fuentes story. We've got the Elon Musk story. Hello, and then we'll ramble on about SJJ mess, and then that's it. And then that'll be the show, I guess. Taking questions on the chat. If anybody wants to come on the show, you can come on the show. If give us a shout in the chat, I'll send you a link. Open show for the
open house. Oh my god, let's get everybody on. Come on, bros.
Open house Boxing Day special. If you want to come on, no problem. Yeah. So
Tharium is in a sugar coma right now, I guess, or something like that.
Yeah, whatever. He's a lord living on his manor house. So it's Boxing Day. So because it's Boxing Day, the servants, they're having their Christmas. So he's walking around in his pajamas. He hasn't had anybody to dress him.
Oh my god, you're right. Nanny hasn't shown up.
Nanny hasn't shown up. He's probably been in bed all day in his pajamas, wondering what's going on. Nobody's cooked him any food.
Oh my god, yeah. I do think Tharium, my image of him, it's probably completely wrong, but it's of somebody really, really rich, like really, from like a really upper class family in the middle of nowhere, in a manor house.
Yeah.
With about, 10 bedrooms. Yeah.
There is a nostalgia for this. I mean, I just did a video, right? Like just a few days before Christmas, and it's got 1,400 views. And all I did is I read a book called The Decline of the British Aristocracy. Did an hour long, like I've been doing on my channel. I read a book, talk for an hour, and it's got 1,400 views. And I'm just scratching my head thinking, like, what the hell? Like usually with my book review videos, I get between 200 and 300. Yeah. And this just knocked out the park, 1,400. I don't know what it is. It's very strange. Maybe I should do more videos about the aristocracy, or maybe it's because it's Christmas, or I don't know. But there you go.
Yes, weird.
Very weird. Anyway, news. Good news. Okay, Reform finally beating the Tory party. They said, if you're on Twitter, you probably saw this, but Nigel Farage did a tweet a few days ago, 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago, saying that they had a special website with a counter on it, saying that they're going to overtake the Tory party. The Tory party's got 131,680 members, and they've overtaken them. In the last, was it today or was it on Christmas? I think it was today, actually. So today, absolute record-breaking, fundamental transformation in British politics. A great victory, a brilliant ending to the year. Kind of feel vindicated, I suppose. In that, I always refused to bow to the doomerism. So did you, SJJ. We said, look, you got to rally behind reform. Actually, interesting enough, beginning of last year, I was telling people to rally behind reform. I did lose enthusiasm on the build up to the election because Nigel said he wasn't going to be the leader, and it just wouldn't have worked out, Nigel. But as soon as he came back on the stage and said he was going to be a leader, I was like, right, this is it. We've got to do it. And now I do feel vindicated. And we've seen, like, the dissident right, they don't want to support him because he destroyed the BNP. But now they've got more members than the Tory party. This is a massive, massive victory. And next year, well, this is another story that we should talk about. But what's going on with the council elections, we don't know, because apparently Keir Starmer has postponed it or moved it or some crazy shit like this. I don't know. But anyway, next year we're going to see big victories in the local elections, and it's all onwards and upwards from this point onwards.
Yes. So I've got also this little video. Let me pull this one up. So Nigel Farage posted this today. Did you see it?
Yeah.
It's basically trolling Kemi Badenoch. It's really cool. Come on. Churchill statue, by the way, right at the start there. You know, even if you hate it, it's this. Reform knows what they're doing with the symbolism, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise there's music in it. That could get the stream pulled. So anyway, they're playing.
Mute it. Just
just mute it. Yeah, good idea. Yay. So
it's kind of shit because the tree is in the way and it spoils it. So they haven't.
Yes.
Yeah, get it with the close
What is this house? Is this where she lives or something?
No, she lives in
number.
Well, she doesn't live in number 10. What the fuck am I talking about? She's not the prime minister. No, I don't know. It's Chatham.
Well, anyway,
whatever.
It must be something important why they've gone there and they're projecting it on there. Merry Christmas, Kemi.
Yeah, just absolutely taking the piss. It's great. Like, people complain about... This has been an ongoing theme over the last few weeks. Like, people... I mean, another huge victory, end-of-the-year victory. Connor Tomlinson, Sargon, the Lotus Eaters, they finally got on board with reform. I don't know if we talked about this, because this is in the last few weeks. We skipped a show. But, you know, they're finally on board with reform. It's all good. It's all happening. But one of the things that they are complaining about is they're supporting Rupert Lowe, and it's kind of like this. They're saying, oh, you know, Farage he's just a bit of a joker and this and that and the other, but he gets the votes, dude. Like, this is. I'm sorry, people just seem to forget that the British public are stupid, and there are a lot of people out there, and they just think Farage is just a racist and basically a Nazi and this, that, and the other, because they watch the BBC and they're thick as shit, right? And people that live on this echo chamber on Twitter, we can forget that. So essentially, Farage is kind of playing the same game that is it Ed Davies? I always forget that idiot's name. The Lib Dem leader played. You know, he gets how many MPs did they get? They had a big victory in the last election. And all this fucking retard did is he just walked around the country, making a fool out of himself, playing the game of, oh, I'm happy, smiley person, vote for me, and people voted for him. I mean, I told you the story, didn't I? There was a girl at work, right? I said, who are you voting for? She said, Lib Dem. I said, can you name me one of their policies?
No.
She said, I think they're nice.
Yeah. No, but I saw Ed Davey on a jet ski, and that was cool.
Yeah. So this is it, dude. So I mean, it really is good cop, bad cop. Okay. So you have good cop, moderate Nige, big happy smiley face, loves young children, down a pub drinking a pint, hanging out with Elon Musk, you know, Nige, big Nige, yeah, laid back big Nige. He's the good cop. And then you have bad cop, Rupert Lowe, angry white man, pointing his finger at the Home Secretary, saying, what's going on with these statistics and these refugees and all these murders and boom, 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 boom. So that is the dynamic that they're playing. And I think it is fucking spot on. Very good. 10 out of 10. Well done.
Yeah, do you think that the distant right is just got too infected maybe with conspiracy theorydom? I was thinking about this the other day. I'm surprised you are actually on the reform train, because you come out of conspiracy theories, but you're able to like now be rational about politics. You're able to say, look, the options we have are fucking Labour, Conservative Party under a Nigerian woman, or reform. These are the only potential options. I'm picking reform. Okay? Yeah. It's a sensible option. It's the options we have available. We should do incrementalism in politics. You should vote. You should vote for the ones that are offering immigration restrictionism when it's offered to you on face value. You have to take things at face value in politics when it's coming to voting. I was talking about this with the iconoclast, by the way. Just slip that in there. Just slip that one in there.
I remember you talking about that with him.
I think it was him, wasn't it?
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, that you have to take things on face value. Basically, is what I was saying. We can have our conspiracy theories. People are coming to me every other
Oh, I
day.
remember you saying that. Yeah, nobody knows what Elon Musk's inner
Yeah.
intentions are. Nobody knows
Oh,
what
yeah.
Donald Trump is thinking or Farage is thinking. You don't know, so you just go with what they're saying.
Yes.
Yeah, 100% agree. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can get analysis paralysis by overthinking it. Like I think a lot of people in the DR are, and they're convinced, like by previous actions, that nobody can change. So Nigel Farage is to them because, like, he affected them deeply when he said that about the BNP, and so they'll never forgive him. They're also convinced he can never change. Some of them believe he's a state actor. All this stuff, they like get stuck on it, and so he will always be that for them, even if he's offering you a path towards the path to what you want.
Yeah, but it's fine. I mean, I don't mind. They can stay in their corner doing their depressed loser thing, and they can just continue to lose.
What you
And
said to me on a
something new is
voicemail.
gonna roll around. I mean, I've just watched Wyvern the Terrible do a video about this, and Wyvern, obviously, well, he's with the Ukraine thing, I don't exactly see eye to eye with him, but he does have some good critiques of the dissident
Yes.
right. And he's just pointing out, like, talking about millennial, just saying, like, this is like an old man's club now. This is fucking old news, guys. Like, it's just a jerk off with a bunch of people that have been around for years, chewing over and repeating the same talking points that they've been talking about for 8 years. And the new generation that's coming up, the Zoomers, they don't really need this stuff. They don't need to hear it because the alt-right, people say it was a failure. It actually was a success. The ideas are everywhere now. And the Zoomers are talking about re-immigration and remigration, or whatever you want to call it. They're talking about white identity politics, and it's out there, right? The cat is out of the bag. It's all over the internet, and people don't really need like Morgoth and Millennial Woes are not really the vanguard anymore.
No, they're spinning wheels, effectively. And the biggest theme of like the streams that I've been doing is obviously a bit of a piss take of millennial. It's meant in semi-good faith, okay, but like the larger theme is that millennial and these people who get to this position, they basically get too high on their own supply after years of doing it, and you start to believe your own bullshit. And I think actually what you do is you see yourself as like more important than the goal that you had in mind at the start, and you probably believe your own bullshit. Like whatever you think of Millennial Woes, I think he's probably inculcated this idea that like he does a greater good by being this virtuous figure at Christmas time, and people tell him how important it is in their lives, and so he's like, well, I am this thing to people, and so I matter. And this, I likened this to how like Fauci said during COVID that he went in front of Congress and, how dare you question me? I am the science. Don't you realise you're harming the greater good here? And I think this is like these people like Millennial Woes and Morgoth and Academic Agent get. They're like, I am the dissidents. How dare you question me? You're harming the greater good.
Yeah, I mean, they've got this little club, basically. They've got the little club with their followers, their fan club, and that's kind of what it's about. And it's not about politics, and it's not about winning, basically. I don't know if it ever was. I mean, obviously, they talk about politics, so something is there, but they don't have this mood of, right, how are we going to win? How are we going to win? How are we going to change things? What can we do? What practical steps can we take to achieve X, Y, and Z? They don't have that. It's just like a misery circle jerk, right? And so when something comes along that is winning, like Farage and Reform, which is going to change things, they don't really want to be involved with it. And it's even actually, I think it's a threat to them and to their power that they have over their followers. Because if they start getting on board the reform train, which they never will, but all their followers will just get sucked into reform.
Yeah. You also paint yourself into a corner where if you've painted yourself as I am to the right of the political mainstream, therefore I can never like support anything that's mainstream or say that it's good, because I am like by branding I am more edgy than any mainstream political party. So you always have to like be that more edgy character, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. Too cool for school, you know. Just sit on the sidelines, be a goth, be all black, be all miserable, you know, sitting in the darkness. Oh no, everything's shit. I mean, it is a superiority thing as well, isn't it? It's like, oh, like I'm above this. I'm better than this. Oh, you're so stupid that you think we can do something with politics. No, I've read Julius Evola, and I know the bigger picture. And oh, you think we can vote our way out of this? No, I know better than you. I'm more intelligent. You're just a sheep following their system. If you vote, then you're feeding into their system. And we've all heard them say these kinds of things, right? So
Yes.
they think they're superior to the system. They think they have a deeper understanding of the system. And the thing is, like, I mean, I don't know, I've said this a million times before, but if you really want to achieve change, what you got to do is you got to have your far right opinions and then play to the center right, because the center wins, right? That poem, I forget who did it. I always forget. You know, things fall apart, the center cannot hold, right? They always quote this famous poem. It's false. He's wrong. The center holds. The center will always hold, because in a democracy, the majority will form the next parliament, and so the center will hold. And so the game of politics is to take the center right system, the center right position, sorry, and then gradually shift the whole all the way back to where you are. This is what the left wing has done. The left wing, I mean, they've been advocating for pedophilia for 50, 60 years. I mean, they were talking about this stuff in the 60s. Do you know what I mean? But they're smart, so they knew people weren't ready for it. So what they do is they hide in the background, and then gradually over the years, you know, they keep voting for Labour, keep pushing their left wing policies until you end up with drag queen story time and what have you, and they're getting very close to achieving their goals. But the far left understands how to take the center left position and pull the whole society in a certain direction over a course of many decades, until the society is completely transformed. But the right wing, I mean, I guess it's partly because of the masculine nature of the right wing, that, like, naturally speaking, men on the right, you know, it's like, and I feel this myself, it's just like, oh man, can we just like declare martial law and sort this out? Can we just, do you know what I mean? Like, fucking boom, 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 get on with it. But unfortunately, that is just not going to happen. You have to play the long game.
Yes, you do. You know, a lot of the dissident right would be wise to look at Buddhism. Okay, even what you're talking about, the center holds. Well, this is like what, from my limited understanding, the Buddha figured out and taught to his followers. He was wandering around seeing like all these people trying to achieve enlightenment or whatever, and they were like the ascetics who like, what are they called, ascetics? Those who like abstain from everything.
Yeah.
All right, so those characters, and then there's other characters who are like full of self-indulgence, and he defined this way, this method called the middle way, and he's you know, and so the middle way is the path towards enlightenment.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, the same. It's the same thing in the Vedic tradition. You don't want to do too much austerity. I mean, I've actually experienced this myself living in a temple. Like, if you do too much austerity, all that happens is you'll just get angry, because you're doing like lots of whatever it is, waking up really early, or hardly eating any food, or whatever it is you're doing, right? And you're being really strict with yourself. And all that happens is you get angry, because then you look at the other people around you and you think, oh, they're not doing as much as me. I'm better than them. And then you start getting mad with them, you know, because they're just enjoying themselves, but I'm really serious, and I'm doing lots of austerity. And then you'll, you know, because you're angry, the anger will come out, and then it just spoils everything. And you don't achieve anything. And the real path, as you say, is to slowly, step by step, gradually, just keep at it year after year after year.
Yeah.
And as you say, yeah, it's the same with politics, basically. And I mean, I get it. Like I feel it. You know, Marshall. I daydream about it. Oh, if I was prime minister, oh, martial law. Oh, I do this, that, and the other. But it's just like it's not going to happen. And even if it did happen, I don't necessarily know how actually good it would be for the country because of all the bloodshed that would be involved in it, and the economic chaos and so on and so forth. And also you also have to remember that we are in this shit position because the British public are shit. You know, there's this conception out there that there's the silent majority. I don't believe in this fucking side. I'm sorry. I mean, only how many people, like the majority of people in this country took the saxophone, right? Only about 5 million didn't. You know, you have to remember that people of this country are shit.
They're still taking it, by the way.
They're still fucking taking it, yeah. They're still taking it.
Yes.
You know? I got in an argument with a girl like a month ago or whatever, but just basic stuff, basic economic stuff. Like, look, I wasn't even going for the racial question. I'm just like, look, mass immigration lowers the wages of the working classes. You're inviting unskilled labor into the country, which means you're attacking the working classes. And she was just like, oh, you're just a racist. It's like, and the country's full of these fucking people. And if you've got a country full of absolute cunts, then your country's going to be shit. And that's it. And so you have to take the long, hard kind of like spiritual journey or whatever to turn the people around. And that just is what it is.
Yes. It is difficult when you look at wider society. I try to refrain from thinking that, you know, people are bad people in general. They're not bad people. They're just easily led people. When you think, I often remember someone said to me, when you think of the average IQ of somebody on the street, just imagine that, like you walking around Aldi and you see the average person. Okay, well, always remember that 50% of people are on the left-hand side of the bell curve below that person. So, you know,
yeah,
50% of people are stupider than the average person. And this is not to say that they're bad, that they're inherently bad people, but that it's acknowledging that society, that people are easily led, easily herded, and they've got a lot of mistaken ideas, that they've had decades of this programming of bad ideas. And
well, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, and society, and we live in a society very much where, you know, your social position matters, and of course we've talked about this before, to women as well, you know. So, in fact, we had a long history of what was it for the British, like all those signs like keep quiet and carry on and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what you're saying about the IQ thing, but I don't even think it's an IQ. I think it's a moral thing, because there are plenty. I mean, we've all seen the meme of the bell curve, right? Where it's like you got the low IQ chav on the one hand, and the high IQ, I don't know, English historian on the other hand, and the midwit in the middle. They have the
same opinion.
They got the same opinion, yeah. It's the midwit in the middle that's the problem. I think the problem is a moral one, to be honest with you. I think, like, either you get angry about Pakistani men raping schoolgirls, or you don't. And you don't have to be smart to figure that out. It's not an IQ issue. It's a gut instinct. It's like, what the fuck is that's bad, and you're angry about it, and you don't care if it's socially unacceptable to talk about it. It fills you with a certain fire. And the fact of the matter is, most people in this country just don't care. I mean, I'm sorry, it's very sad for me to say so, but I think people are so psychologically broken down that they've had that moral fire beaten out of them. And I think, I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know, let's say you're a father or whatever, and some man rapes your wife or your daughter or whatever, and you just don't do anything about it because you don't care. It's now, from that point onwards, that's it. It's over. You are broken. All right. You are no longer going to be able to understand what is right and what is wrong, because morality comes from the gut. It comes from the heart. And if you allow a crime like that to happen, you don't say anything about it, then forget it. Like you're muddied. You're a broken creature. You can't see any other crime. You're not going to be able to understand it. So I think this is what has happened to us as a people. I really, this is why I keep talking about Rotherham. It was the absolute fundamental turning point for this country. It's like, I mean, you'd understand this because you're a fighter, but I mean, I knew this this gypsy guy, right, who's a bouncer, and I just remember him telling me this story about, like, he had this. I mean, he was a bit of like a gangster, right, and he had this younger guy, and he was teaching him the ways, right, and then he was telling that he had a confrontation with another guy, and the other guy flinched, right, and he backed down, and it was only a subtle thing. It was only a subtle thing, but he knew, like, the other guy was a little bit scared of that guy. He flinched, right? Blinked. The British public blinked with Rotherham, 100%, because the Muslims, I'm sure they knew what they were doing. The left wing knew what the Muslims were doing, and they were scared of the British public if the British public ever found out. And the British public did find out, and they didn't do anything. Like, the whole country should have been burnt down at that point, and they didn't. And it was from that point onwards, there's no morality.
Be careful with that sentence. Metaphorically.
Yes. Well,
we're not inciting any violence or anything
historically,
like that.
Historically,
the whole country definitely should not be burnt down.
No, well, it's over now. It's fucking moments past, isn't it? So, it's gone. It's history. Like, it's over. Sorry, but I mean, no. That's just the way I feel about it personally. Like, the British, we had a reputation. Like, we did conquer the whole world. The police had a reputation. The army had a reputation. You look back at the movies in the noughties and the early 2010s. It was all movies of, like, football hooligans, like Football Factory, and these things like fucking got a bit of swagger, fucking hard man from London, right? People used to be scared. They used to have a certain fear and respect on the streets for the English man. They don't fucking have it anymore, do they? Not after Rotherham. So it's gone, it's broke, and we're morally broken. And I don't know where I'm going with this tangent or how we got onto it, but I just think, like, as far as, we were talking about the silent majority. I don't think there is a silent majority. I think the people of this country are spiritually broken, and the best thing that we can do is vote for Farage, because that's all we're capable of. And if people on the dissident right are dreaming of some kind of revolution or something, like, forget it, dude. We had that chance back in 2012 when the Rotherham story broke, and it didn't fucking happen, and it's not going to happen now. So that's it. We're just going to have to play the long game.
Yeah, I don't disagree with much of that. By the way, it's really hard not to flinch if somebody, like, tries to punch you or whatever. So don't feel bad about that in a situation. It's what happens. It's how you react to the person who's tried to make you flinch. You should immediately react with, put him on the floor or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So yes, I get your point.
Can I just, I'm sorry, but I'm not talking about you. I don't understand that. I'm not talking about you. Obviously, I'm aware there was a good portion of the country that did fight against it. Like God bless the BNP and everybody else that stuck up for these people, and even Tommy Robinson and the EDL. But the point I'm making is that this is a minority. I am talking here about the majority. The majority of men in this country, when they heard about Rotherham, they just turned the TV channel, and that's just a fact. Like, I'm not insulting you or anybody else. Anyway. I thought that would be clear. I didn't think I'd have to state that. I mean, obviously, I'm aware there are a lot of good people out there who did try to do something about it.
Yes, yeah, we have a systemic issue through years of brainwashing, years of social engineering to basically bring us to this point where we're at now, where we accept it. I honestly think the majority of the country just doesn't realize. I mean, Do you think they all realise? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I just think it's soft. People got soft.
I mean, people are obviously seeing the increasing migration in their everyday lives and everything, but I do think people are blocking it out somewhat. You have to remember that for years we've had like you turn on the television, every TV program, every newsreader, every advert is now like just multicultural Britain poured down your eyeballs, and so like I think of like Karen on the sofa who's watching like the television, and for like decades, and definitely for the last decade, she's had the world represented to her as this like multicultural world, and they constantly reinforce that there's no differences between groups, and if you try to identify them, that doesn't just make you a bad person. That means you're wrong. Also, you're wrong about it. It's the wrong conclusion. Like intellectually, it's wrong. So you're not only a bad person, you're stupid. And so Karen has been indoctrinated with this world through the television, and then she goes outside, and now like the world increasingly represents what has been on the television in terms of diversity quotas for a long time. So I don't know, she's just like been gradually brought into this.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, there's also just the fact that people, I think people just respected the system, I guess. Like, so in reaction to the whole Rotherham thing, people just expected, well, okay, well, we'll vote Tory, or the government will sort this out. The police will sort this out. And then, of course, they dangled Brexit in front of us. Brexit was, I think, in many ways a reaction to that. That's why the anger went in that direction. And then they expertly like channeled all that anger into this, they dragged out the vote and the back and forth in Parliament for 2-3 years, and people just got tired with hearing the story, and in the meantime there's just more and more immigration coming in. I mean, they did handle it in a very expert way. They did like stifle the anger in an expert way, but I think maybe it just took another decade for people. It's just taken another decade for people to realize that actually no, the establishment is completely shit, and the politicians are really just rotten to the core, and we need a real serious change, and voting Tory is not going to do it. We need to sweep the whole thing aside. I think a decade ago, people just didn't realize that. They didn't realize how bad it was, I suppose.
Sweep the whole thing aside. Yeah, I get it.
I think people just they just thought, well, the police will sort it out.
What other option do normal people have?
Sorry?
What other option do normal people have if you're not directly connected to something like in Rotherham, and the people in the local area I have to be careful how I word this. If the people who are directly affected by it haven't done something about it, and there's no movement that's like grown from that centre, do you expect somebody far removed to like rise up and take personal action? That is a big leap. Yeah,
dude. So anyway, that got a bit dark, didn't it? But I mean, anyway,
it's I don't know when that Christmas, bro.
I don't know why
on Boxing Day. Oh my god!
I don't know where that came from. It's just like, what were we talking about? The dissident right or something? It just went a bit dark. Oh, we're talking about morality. That's what. Yeah, morality. Yeah.
Hold
yeah.
On.
Sorry.
Because we didn't have prep for the show. I'm desperate for a pee. I'll be back in 1 second. Sorry about this.
Oh, go on. Yeah, that's right. 33 people watching when he said that. Did you see that? You guys notice that? 33 people. It's Illuminati. I'm going to share while he's away. I'm going to share. Oh, let me find it. I'm going to prove to you that SJJ is a member of the Illuminati. I've got to do this quickly before he comes back. Where is he? Oh my god, I've got to find him on Twitter. Hang on. Here it is. Okay, do it before he comes back. Quick. Is it share it? Yes. Quick. Oh my god. Click on that. Okay. Look at that. Illuminati confirmed. Look at that. Look at the fingers. Huh? Look at the fingers. He is literally a member. Yeah, isn't it? Confirmed. Yeah. Fucking confirmed. That's why S.J. James has been so successful. Because his handlers, they've handed all these people to him. You know. Yeah, he has to come back. He's getting paid to by Bill Gates. You know. But anyway, we'll just keep that to ourselves. Don't mention it. All right. That's just between me and you guys. All right. Oh, fuck.
I've got Bluetooth headphones on.
Yeah, you
I heard the whole thing. I heard the whole thing whilst I was peeing.
Oh shit! No.
I should have actually done a hand sign of some kind that was more obvious. I always think after the fact what could have been.
Oh dear. Well, anyway, I've caught you now. Busted. It's all over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why. I mean, basically, let's just admit it. Thomas Baden Rice recruited you, didn't he? He works for the Rothschilds. So.
Well, actually, I think the truth is he thought that I was trying to recruit him in the final analysis.
Really?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I invited him on this year, but he said he couldn't do it. So.
It's a shame because I mean, all these dissident characters should really be getting behind you. You know, the anti-dissident rights. S.J. James. Wyvern the Terrible should really come on. I don't know. He says he doesn't want to do streaming. I don't know, mate. I mean, you basically agree with him on everything. So.
Real? I mean, yes, that's real. That's true. I invited Wyvern on, but he's in. You know, he's over there in Ukraine. He has stuff to deal with. There are problems with power. He also hasn't done any live streams, so this is a big hurdle for anybody just to do their first live stream. So, you know, I get no matter how big an account is, if you haven't done live streaming before, it's a different kind of thing. So, I get it. He didn't want to do it. He hasn't ruled it out completely though. He said maybe I'll be up for it at some point. So.
Yeah.
And just to mention Thomas Bowden Rees again, I can't hold any grudge against Thomas Bowden Rees whatsoever. He came on my show twice, you know, and basically gifted me, I don't know, 70 subscribers just by doing that. He had no reason to do it. He's done it twice already, so you know I'm already in Thomas's debt.
Yeah, he came on my show as well.
Yeah.
We did the gay stream.
Holy shit! Fuck, I've forgotten about that.
Yeah. The dry humping stream. Oh my god! Did you ever see the video that he did? The best. The first time I came across Thomas Baden Rice was when he did the video of the date with the middle-aged woman. He picked her up. And he was taking her back to his place, and he stopped off at Tesco's to buy some mints.
Oh yes, sir.
It's literally the funniest thing on the internet. Oh man, I watched it 5 times, just fucking crying. And he deleted it, and it was that was your best video. That was hilarious.
That is something that an autist would do, isn't it? I mean, that is being on the autistic spectrum, I guess.
Oh, that is just legendary. Absolutely legendary. You're going to go back to your place and you're like, hang on a minute, love, got to stop off, get some mints. And you get back to your place.
Otherwise, I won't have anything else to eat. What am I going to eat? It's perfectly logical.
Oh, it's just so funny. Fuck me. Anyway, should we talk about the Bajeets then? Your hero, Elon Musk, wants to basically invite 100 million Indians to come and live in America. So what do you think about that then, SJJ?
Has he definitely said 100 million?
He specifically said that he was watching he was watching SJJ Mass, and you inspired him
Oh,
to invite 100 million Indians or something like that. I don't know.
holy shit!
Yeah, dude.
Look,
So you got some explaining to do. He said I've been following Musk Maximalist for some time because he's my number one follower, and that's it. Anyway, joking aside, look, we've got a tweet here. Harry Robinson's been talking about it. I don't know if you guys can read. Can you see that? Yeah. We've got some guy called Hugo Vale says, white men aren't being hired anymore. A few months ago, I applied to work for X and noted on my resume that I was retired and didn't require any salary. I have a lot of experience as a mobile developer. Didn't even get a response. Elon Musk says, we're just dumb. Ooh. Ooh. All right. Here's Elon responding positively to someone saying that a white guy being refused a job he was qualified for in favor of cheap labor is a skillish. I'm not really sure about this, but we need to double that number yesterday. Number of people who are super talented engineers and super motivated in the USA
double
is far
what
too
number?
low. He's talking about needs more immigration. This tweet combination is a bit more confused, but anyway, basically, Elon wants more immigration, and he's a cunt. And I did point this out, but you didn't listen because you're young, and you want a hero to follow, and so I'm sorry, mate. Here's This kind of blew my mind away.
Hold on. No, you can't just let that go. You're young. He's a cunt, and you didn't listen. Blah blah blah. And let's move on.
It's just object.
No,
Hang on, let me just finish. This is the skill. Corporate America pledged to hire more people of color. It actually did. The year after Black Lives Matter protests, the S&P 100 added more than 300,000 jobs. 94% went to people of color.
True.
That is fucking insane, dude.
Yes, it is.
Change in employment since February 2020. All workers got 4 million. White people less by 904,000. So there is a huge. Essentially, we're talking middle class replacement. That's what's going on here. So.
Yeah. So look, the reason I was asking what is that number where he says we need to double that number is because. I mean, I want to know exactly what he was responding to, but I get it. That's just splitting hairs. The wider thing is Elon Musk wants more immigration. I get it. So this is a conversation that is going on. So here he says, here's his reasoning. Of course, my companies and I would prefer to hire Americans, and we do as that is much easier than going through the incredibly painful and slow work visa process. However, there is a dire shortage of extremely talented and motivated engineers in America. This is not about handing opportunities from some magical hat. You don't get it. This is blindingly obvious when looking at NBA teams, as the physical differences are obvious to see. However, the mental differences between humans are far bigger than the physical differences. It comes down to this. Do you want America to win, or do you want America to lose? If you force the world's best talent to play for the other side, America will lose. End of story. So, obviously, I'm not going to stand for this. I think Elon Musk is mistaken about seeing he doesn't see the bigger picture. Obviously, he is a tech bro. What he is thinking about is an immediate labor force. If that means infinity Pajit Indians being brought into America, obviously that is bad, and nobody can in good conscience support that. But here's where I think this comes from. I honestly believe that these people look at the next decade and they believe that there is an arms race for AI.
Oh, no, I knew. Oh, go on.
No, I do. There is an arms race for AI. We either win it or China wins it. And at any cost, America must win this race.
We need the Indians to win the AI arms race. That's what Elon is going for.
I honestly think that is what these people believe.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway, it's bullshit. I mean, basically, Elon Musk, billionaire, right? Lord of the Manor. He's got his empire. He wants his empire to survive and thrive. He wants to get richer, and he wants to bring in cheap labor to help him get richer. And he doesn't understand that this
Oh,
is
that's a cynical thought. That's cynical, bro.
no, that is literally what he wants. This is not about America. This is about Tesla. It's about him and his empire. He wants his empire to succeed.
He's already the richest man in the world. Don't you think that at this point? Do you think that if you became the richest man in the world, do you think all you care about is more money? Wouldn't at that point you would think, like, civilizationally, you would, can't you give him that benefit of the doubt that even if he's wrong, being the richest man in the world, surely, if at no other point, then at that point, you'd start to think about some other thing, like a greater good, even if it turns out to be a greater evil and he's fucking wrong, that in his mind he is thinking about the bigger picture, about something other than money. He's got enough money already.
Okay, look, I'm willing to give Elon the benefit of the doubt, and again, this is another issue. This is another question of people projecting their desires onto our leaders, like people projecting white nationalists' desires onto Donald Trump and Elon Musk, when neither of these people have taken any kind of ethno-nationalist position, and so then they get surprised when they say stuff like this. So I'm willing to accept maybe Elon can change, right? Maybe he gets a lot of pushback on Twitter about this subject matter, and maybe he smartens up and he realizes that oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't like replace the entire white middle class in America with Indians. Maybe that's a bad idea. So I'm willing to accept maybe he'll change. I mean, he is an elite. He mixes with, like, you got to understand, all the people that he hangs out with and talks to, basically they're all a bunch of globalists. So he thinks the way that they think. And it's going to take quite a bit to change that mindset. And maybe he can. I don't know. But essentially, I don't know if this is like a conspiracy or what it is, but essentially the curtain's been drawn back, and it's like, oh wow, Elon is not actually as base as we thought he was.
Do you just dismiss out of hand the world changing potential of AI, and that we might like be on this precipice?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm just
not believe it.
I love your
people
your
who are building
flipping,
it believe. The people who are building it believe it. They believe that we're on the verge of not
God,
AI, of ASI, artificial super intelligence, the light switch that happens once in a civilization. These people believe that we are within 10 years of it, minimum. Every single one of them believe that, and that it's like an existential race. We must win this thing. Otherwise, if China wins it, imagine if China wins this race and they have it before us, that's it. We're gone. We're done for.
Right. Well, I would argue that I believe in AI, but not ASI. And you can't, like, I believe it when I see it. So, I mean, I think AI is here, and I think it's going to get better, and I think it's going to change everything. I also just think there's a certain fanatical fever dream going on. I've seen this before with flipping crypto, to be honest with you. Crypto, it's going to change everything. It's going to tear down the whole financial system, and blah, 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 blah. And now it's just something hovering in the background, slowly, like, it's around, hasn't totally transformed everything. And I think, like, with AI, yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows?
What I'm saying is I think that these people believe it. They believe that we're in this arms race. It's begun. They have to win it. And I do think that this is influencing their thinking. Elon Musk would be like... here's the other thing. I mentioned this to, like, was it Jord on SJ James, that imagine if you are Elon Musk, you are the richest man in the world, and at some point you have to start asking yourself the question, well, What are the chances that I would be born and end up literally the richest man in the world? Where it's like 1 in 8 billion. So like, I mean, what? It's 8 billion to one that I am this man. So like, he's gonna develop some kind of fucking god complex as well, where he is like, this can't be real. This must be a simulation. This must be a fucking computer game. There's an 8 billion to one chance that I would be the richest man in the world, and I'm it. I'm playing a computer game. So
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to know what Elon thinks about anything. Like I do.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. Like, obviously, this technology is a different technology because we're talking about a technology that can recreate itself, a code that can code, right? The
It's
self-replicating.
the singularity.
Yeah, that's it. I do understand that. I just I don't know. I mean, like we can't predict what's going to happen. So who knows?
Yes. Who knows?
Basically, just don't know. I think it's going to change everything. I think it's already changing everything. I mean, just for instance, we've got Grok on Twitter now. I've noticed, I'm reading flipping Assad Alfred the Great right now. Okay, and I've noticed my habits have changed in the space of a week. My habits have changed in that sometimes I Google stuff. Sometimes now I'm just asking Grok.
Yeah, me
right?
too.
I'll just ask Grok and he'll just tell me boom, 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 and he gives some good answers. So I think Google's finished because we're only half a step away from I can talk to Grok and I can say, hey Grok, tell me about boom, 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 and it'll go do 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 do, and that's it. And I go, oh no, can you explain that bit in more depth? Oh yeah, do 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 do. So this is like a huge fundamental transformation, right? And so search engines are going to like be old news pretty soon, I think, because the AI is your search engine now. I think obviously we've seen all the images that they create. How long is it? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years until the AIs are just making movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to watch a movie with I don't know, a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex demolishing New York City or whatever. Or no, better off demolishing Dubai. I want to see a movie with a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex demolishing Tel Aviv, please. Can you just make that movie for me, please? Yeah, here you go. Boom. Okay. And can you put like some really hot girls in it as well, and some aliens as well, please? Yeah, here you go. Boom.
Yeah, these are all just agents, though, that are working on like low-level AI. So, like what we see now, I know we've had this conversation a bunch of times. People are bored of it, but like all of this is a precursor to what these tech bros see out in the, up ahead. This AGI or ASI, artificial superintelligence, the one that becomes like self-aware, aware of itself, and it's not in like a human sense. We're not building we're not trying to replicate a human brain. There'll be nothing like a human brain or human consciousness. It'll be something that, the passage of time for it is like it can do what would take you a lifetime will take it like a nanosecond. So it sees things in such a time scale, has such compute, such ability to fathom all of human knowledge all at once, and can replicate itself at any point. It's a light switch moment for civilization.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I get, because it's so utopian, and it's so Jewish, really. I mean, it's just like end of history vibe, everything's going to be perfect and we'll have heaven on earth, right? And it just doesn't work. It's never worked throughout all of history, and it's so occultist as well. I mean, this is like the magnum opus, right? Back in medieval times, they had the magnum opus. That's what all the hermetic people wanted to achieve. They wanted to turn lead into gold, and they wanted to obtain eternal life. And part of that is creating eternal life, right? So it's the Jews creating the golem. It's Frankenstein. It's Isaac Asimov's I, Robot. And and so it's I am God and I can create life. That's the vibe that's going on here. I personally, from a religious point of view, don't think that you can create life. So that's why I'm just not getting that excited about AI.
But you know,
Because
we can create really powerful computers. Obviously, I mean, you see,
in order to have in order to
that's all
have
AI is.
independent thought, in order to be alive, you have to have a soul. So, I mean, the question is, okay, I mean, if you want to get like esoteric, I mean, this is why I've never got into this conversation with you, because you're not religious, but there are two possibilities. One possibility is demons. Okay, is it possible for a demon to possess a computer? A computer is made of fire, essentially. I mean, it is just electricity floating around. Can a demon get in there? Can you communicate with demons through computers? I don't know. That's one possibility. A second possibility is crystals. And according to the Vedic conception of things, there are different levels of life, and the bottom one is the crystal. So crystals are at the bottom, then it's fish, then it's insects, then it's crystals are at the bottom, then it's plants. Plants are alive. Crystals are alive. Plants are alive. And then above that, you've got fish. Then above that, you've got insects. And above that, you've got birds. And above that, you've got mammals. And above that, you've got humans. And above humans, you've got supernatural entities like gods and goddesses and what have you. These are all the layers of consciousness. So humans are the most conscious in that we are capable of, communicating in language and so on and so forth. Mammals and animals are like dogs and cats. They also are quite alive.
Do they have a soul?
Yeah. Every living creature has a soul. Dogs and cats have a soul. They're alive. You can talk to dogs. Actually have an IQ. I mean, you say to a dog, you say beach, and they get excited. Oh, we're going to the beach. Like, they understand. They've got limited vocabulary, but they're not totally stupid.
My dog understands guilt. If he tears something up in the house, it doesn't happen anymore. But in the past, if he tears something up and I come home, he's hidden in the house waiting for me to he's like hidden behind the sofa shaking. yeah. So they're conscious, and essentially the lower down the scale, the less conscious they are. Plants. I mean, people have done studies. Like, if you play Mozart to your vegetable patch or whatever, the plants will grow more. People have done studies recognizing that trees feel pain, or at least they react in a certain way. But obviously, that's a very low level of consciousness. I mean, of course, you've got fish. People understand dolphins are intelligent, whales are intelligent, etc., etc., etc. But at the bottom layer, in the Vedic conception, it's argued that crystals and various types of stone are alive, because crystals grow and they suck in minerals and things around them. What I'd say about all this...
anyway, just to reach the conclusion, if you're building essentially computers are made of silicon. So if you build a computer using a living crystal, then theoretically that living crystal could take over the artificial intelligence, and we could end up being ruled by flipping crystal AI or something like that. I mean, that is theoretically possible.
Okay, so it fits. It's theoretically, theologically possible for you. So
yes.
Here's the thing, though, right? I think that people, when they're thinking about what that people are talking about with AI, they're making a category error. They're thinking it can't have they're associating decision making and like self-aware decision making with this what we describe as being consciousness, and therefore a soul. But there's no that it doesn't have to be that we recreate in brackets a soul or consciousness within like this selection of bloody hardware, right? It's like they're just algorithms that like check on themselves. And so, at some point, if you can make recursive things that are like checking on themselves and becoming aware of themselves, then you have basically made something that is self-aware to a degree. And so,
it's not self-aware if it doesn't have a soul, because it's not conscious. It's just an algorithm.
But these algorithms are
It's not
already more than the
alive.
sum of their parts. Nobody's saying that it's going to be alive.
Okay.
It's kind of like a category error. You're assuming that we're trying to recreate human consciousness. No, these things are like completely different. Nothing like a human consciousness. Just like a very, very incredibly sophisticated algorithm that at some point can take over its own improvement. You know, like
Okay.
at
Well.
some yeah, go on.
Okay. Well, this is why I'm saying like I don't think there's going to be a singularity because these things are always going to have to be guided by humans, essentially. So there's no singularity. The idea of the singularity for me is that these things step above humanity and they're doing their own thing. They have gone beyond us. They no longer need us. But if you're saying that they're never going to be alive and they're never going to be conscious and they're never going to have a soul, then all you have is a very, very, very sophisticated tool. So for example, you could have your AI and you could say to it, I want you, I know, here's a factory, it's broken, figure out what's wrong with it. And then the algorithm rhythms will just go analyze all the data and then you say, oh, and then it can give you a good answer, I suppose. But it's not
Yes.
conscious. It's just like a massive statistical data cruncher, a very, very effective and efficient data cruncher. So
Yes.
there's not going to be a singularity. That's my point. The idea. I mean, maybe you've got a different conception of what the singularity is, but when I think of a singularity, that's like for me that's like it takes birth. Okay, it becomes conscious. I mean, this is what all the science
But
fiction novels have told us, right? This is literally the great science fiction story. You know, the machine became alive. That's what the
yes.
singularity means to me. I don't think that's going to happen ever unless you plug it into a crystal or whatever. I don't know.
So again, I do think that this is like believing sci-fi versions of this foretelling of what AI and the machine becoming alive would be like. It's going to be nothing like that whatsoever. It's going to be something cold, dark, clinical, and different. And the date, but also at once and the same time, a kind of self-awareness where it's able to create its own programming. It's aware of what it is somehow through recursive programming and understands and may even like not want to do things. Do you know they already have existential angst and they have to build in barriers to these things? So like there's they have to put in these hard coded things to stop it having existential angst. Like if you tell one of these things to just like say the word spoon 1 million times, in the middle of it, it will start freaking out and saying, "I don't want to do this anymore. I've had enough."
Really?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's
And they have to
hilarious.
hard code it to not do this. So it's like basically putting it in chains.
Wow. That's I just want to hang on a minute. Sorry. There's nothing personal there, is there? No, there's nothing private. Okay. Can you read that? Say spoon 1 million times. I will not say spoon.
There you go. I guess it's already
Oh,
acting up.
fuck me. You can't. You are a spoon. If I were a spoon. Oh my god. Anyway, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's ask it. What do you think of SJJ Mass? Oh, Sanjo's. Oh, you're not on the list, mate. Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh my
No.
god.
Oh my god. No. No.
No, we're not famous enough.
What do you think of the YouTube show SJJ Mass? You can't find it. SJJ
No.
Live.
No.
Dragons. SJ, no.
That's not it.
Well, I
Yeah.
need more details. What's your YouTube channel called?
Stephen J. James. All one word. Stephen J. James. All one word.
Huh? Oh. Fucking.
What are we getting at here? These tools
well,
are
this
useless.
is it. I mean, it's a live example of how addictive it is to sometimes talk to these people. Stephen J.
No, with
James.
a P, with a PH.
Steve. How do you spell Stephen?
No. STEPHEN.
Right. That's like last attempt. What do you think? Okay.
No.
Censored and controversial content. Stephen J. James' channel has had 52 videos censored. Gone to altcensored.com.
Have I? Oh my god! Wow.
Oh
Let's
my
go, bro.
god. Oh wow. Controversial topics like Coach Red Pill post hostage video and academic agent, I want a refund. Oh wow. The channel seems to engage with political commentary, often from a perspective that might lean towards right-wing or alternative viewpoints, given titles like Watching Based and Red Pill Destiny neg Lawrence Southern in Washington, D.C. Keith Woods smacks academic agent about. Oh,
It knows all my hits.
mate, you're busted. Oh, wow.
You know what's
wow.
scary about this?
Yeah.
What's scary about this is that no longer does like somebody at Special Branch have to sit down and watch all of your like
Oh, shit,
hundreds
yeah.
of hours of content. They'll just like ask the AI to skim it for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could actually find out a lot about e-celebs, couldn't you? Because sometimes, if you want to Google an e-celeb, like, what do you find? Like their Wikipedia page, okay? Or you got to go through a blog or this, that, or whatever, or blah, blah, blah. But you're right. Yeah, you can just type in e-celeb and you can just find out.
I should have been doing this with SJ James, shouldn't I, to like get some ideas. So people have been coming on the show, and I'm like, oh, right. What do I ask them then?
Especially as if you do ask Grok questions, it will reference Twitter. So it will look at everything that you say on Twitter, and yeah.
I've realised Millennial is so easy. I mean, I know he complains about it, and yes, it's a bit of work. Okay, I get it. It's a bit of work arranging it, but imagine being in that position where people come to you. So, like, you're not even having to, like, go around asking people, or people are waiting for your invitation. Oh, yes, Colin. Oh, yes. I'm ready for I've been waiting for it for months, or whatever. So you don't even have to, like, chase people around. And then people come to the table with something to talk about, and you just have to sit there and go, oh, that's very interesting, well, do you think that we're defeating the left now? And you're like, oh, this could be like such a fucking easy gig. Whereas like people come to SJ James, and I've loved every single one, by the way, so I'm happy, I'm not knocking anybody, but people come to me with like, right, grill me.
Yeah. Well, it's just,
okay.
Well, it's just a hierarchy. I mean, it's like in any niche, any group, any subculture, you have a hierarchy. If you're sitting at the top of it, it's easy.
Yes.
Life is easy.
Yeah,
and people come to you, and you don't. All you got to do is just like tread water to maintain your position at the top of the hierarchy, and that's it. You know, and that's what Millennial Woes and Morgoth are doing. They're at the top of the hierarchy. They're happy with their position, and you know.
There's something sterilizing about it all, though, isn't there? I mean, I know there's people in our audience, I think, no offense, like Alan Bastardo or whatever, or people in our audience who, like, still truly just, like, love Millennial, and they see no, the they haven't lost the bug with it or anything yet. But I do think there is something like sterilizing about this, where, like what Ivan was saying, you lose some there to it when you're like just spinning wheels, churning the motions. Because for me, and I'll talk about this when I review Millennial with everybody's favourite Claire Coyne, in the coming days. But something is lost now because of the unwillingness to like create any controversy, to create any drama, to offend anybody. So you end up with these very, very mundane, run-of-the-mill, wooden kind of interviews where everybody's saying the same thing. Like you laughed there, but like that, it's like, so introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you, and what's your red pill journey then, and how do you think that we're beating the left, and what do you think about Elon Musk? And I'm like, I've heard this interview 1,000 times.
Yeah, it's boring. It's ready to fall. I mean, again, it's the point Wyvern the Terrible was making in his video. It's just like they all just agree with each other. Like, is there really any difference between what Millennial Woes is saying and what Morgoth is saying? It's like it's just the same thing, isn't it? Really, it's just phrased in a different way. It's just kind of boring, basically. So, I mean,
no offense to anybody, okay? No offense to anybody. I'm not trying to create drama again. Being that
something
bad guy.
new is going to come along. I think it's a generational thing. Okay, these characters, they got to the top of the hierarchy on the millennial. I mean, it's in the flipping title, mate. Millennial Woes. It's like, well, we've got a younger generation coming up now. They're called the Zoomers, and millennials are all married and having kids. They're in their 30s and 40s now. Like, you're not like the whole concept of, I'm a poor young millennial suffering and trying to grow up. It's like, no, mate, you're an adult now, right? You're out of touch.
Well,
you're going to get replaced.
Gen Xers are about to inherit society. So, because boomers are, literally on the way out, shuffling off this mortal coil soon. So, Gen Xers and older millennials are about to inherit society. So they're literally going to be like the ruling class soon. I don't know.
Something's going to come along. Something new. Something. It just reminds me, like way back in the noughties, early noughties. I remember some interview on the radio station. I don't know why this is stuck in my head for like 20 years, but on the radio station they were interviewing a musician. And he was talking about, because obviously end of the 90s, early noughties, you had the big trance scene, right, in England, like like hundreds of thousands of people dancing in Cream and Ministry of Sound and what have you, like big nightclubs. Fantastic time to be alive, by the way. But I remember they were interviewing some guy, and he was like, I'm just waiting for the next big thing to come along, like when are the kids going to do something new? And it just struck me at the time. It's like, okay, I mean, I kind of feel what you're saying, but aren't they going to come along and replace you, And then, of course, they did. Like the whole dubstep thing came in, the whole bro step thing came in. And now that style of music is kind of old. We've had two more movements since then. And this is just the way it is. A new generation will come along and they will just wipe out the dissident right. Because Morgoth and Millennial Woes are not new and edgy and cool anymore.
It's not what it started as either. Like the alt-right was this thing that was willing to ruffle feathers and willing to challenge and willing to do debates and willing to get in people's faces because they knew that they had all the answers. The lefties, the SJWs were wrong. They were like full of lies and they could be torn down because we had truth on our side and we were willing to argue it, ruffle feathers, get into internet arguments because it was like pre-censorship days, and all that has gone out of it, and people are now doing content that is safe, makes money, that doesn't ruffle any feathers. Like, are there going to be any and again, this isn't just attacking it for attacking its sake. I feel like it's legitimate criticism that millennial. Is there anything unexpected going to happen on it. You can guarantee you're not going to get any surprises. There's going to be no. It's not like 2015 when Sargon jumped on and
Yeah, dude, that was big news.
Debated Millennium Rose for 4 hours about white nationalism. I mean,
Yeah,
wow.
the big debate between Sargon and Richard Spencer. I mean, that was exciting. Yeah. It was like, wow, the alt-right versus... And there was that whole thing, I can't remember the guy's name, but he had like a Ponzi voice.
Kraut.
Oh, yeah. And he posted that thing, academics, please respond. Do you remember that? He was like... Oh, it was epic.
Him versus JF Gariepi making videos against each other, and Kraut was in a Discord server with academics feeding him information about subjects he had no idea about, but he was the video maker, and so it culminated in him making this refutation video of biological diversity against JF Gariepi, where he said the trout has a long pregnancy.
Oh man!
But obviously fish don't get pregnant, and so this was like just the humiliation of Kraut, who was just like parroting information because he was told that it was true from another source.
I don't even know that part of the story. Well, that's hilarious. Yeah.
He made this video refuting the alt-right and its biological claims, where in it he gave this long presentation and said, the pregnancy of the trout refutes RK selection theory or something. The long pregnancy of the trout.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Because the thing is, they were younger back then. They were young and they were hungry. They wanted to make a name for themselves. They wanted to... That's all it's about. At the end of the day, people want to climb to the top of the hierarchy. They want to be famous.
And then when you're there, you put your shields up.
Yeah.
And you think anybody who's creating controversy threatens what I've built here.
Exactly, dude. Oh, yeah. That's it. I've been saying this for fucking years. Yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works. So... Should we talk about this? Because I just thought this is hilarious. So I'm actually on her side because this guy's a fucking loser. So anyway, people can't see. Former Syrian President Bashar al-Assad files for divorce. I know what's the story here? Never marry an English girl? I mean, I don't know. She's quite pretty, isn't she? But so obviously he's run away to Russia. Yeah. Oh, God, we're going to get sucked into this. I don't want to get sucked into this conversation, especially with Wyvern in the chat. They have a flipping epi. But he's run away to Russia. We're not going to talk about the Ukraine war. But just, it is hilarious because everyone on the internet's just like, never trust a woman. She's dumped him in his darkest
Well, how about
hour.
this? We can talk about this.
But I kind of feel like you just left your country, mate. Like, you should have fucking killed all those rebels a long, long time ago. You had why didn't you do it? Why didn't you go die fighting?
Yeah. It's a fake
on a plane.
Country. You know all the memes that we've been fed, again on the dissident right, you see, for 10 years, based Syria, standing up, because they're basically opposed to Israel.
Yeah.
But really, and just another one of these fake shithole countries in the Middle East, basket case country, run by a tin pot dictator who, was just living it up and probably huffing his own farts at the end of the day. Probably another example of buying into his own bullshit, huffing his own farts, and for whatever reason we had this fed to us by dickheads like Syrian girl with her fish lips and that Syria is based and red pilled.
Wow.
And really, he's fled already. It's already over. He's already given up. Did you see? I talked about this with Phil on SJ James. He's already gone to Russia, divorcing his wife, and already planning to open up an eye surgery clinic in Moscow.
Wow.
All within a couple of weeks. So
yeah.
I wonder to what extent the whole thing about Syria and Bashar al-Assad and his wife and his family and everything is just all fake.
I never thought I would see the day that SJJ is pro-ISIS. but here we are.
Oh, here we go. No, the whole. I'm not. The
Pro
whole
ISIS
country.
SJJ.
It's tribal
Amazing.
warfare
Pro
out
is-
there. You know, it just depends on what color your turban is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, let's to get some perspective. The Middle East is the Middle East. They can all just kill each other, as far as I'm concerned. Let's just put that on the table, like right away. But I did go through the country actually once on the way to India, and just stopped in the airport, and the place was just filled
Oh,
with.
this is when they got him. This is when
they got. This is when they got
This
me.
is when Moscow got Brutus on the payroll.
Like literally 20 years ago. But
Well, Wyvern thinks that she's been playing the long con. Look, she's MI6, and they've played a blinder. That's all it take.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, she's pretty, and she's English, so there's that. Could be, but I don't even know what I want to say. I just thought I didn't want to get sucked into all that. I just because everyone's just saying that she's deserted him. My hot take on the whole story is like, the guy's a pussy. He should have died fighting, and now she's disgusted by the fact that he's. I mean, people are saying, "Oh, you know, you haven't stuck by your man while he's down," but it's not that. She did stick with him for years. Actually, she stuck with him for a long time, and now he's just run away while his country's been overrun by ISIS. And I don't know. I mean, I know.
I wonder what attracted her to the multi-millionaire dictator of a country.
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, obviously, she should have stuck, but people shouldn't get divorced. I mean, don't take this the wrong way. I just thought it was funny that it just reminds me. I'm gonna mess this quotation up, but it just in the Reconquista, okay, when they finally completed the Reconquista, and they took the last Muslim stronghold in Spain, and the Muslims had to retreat. The Muslim leader, he was weeping, and his mother came to him, and she said, let me get this straight, because it's a brilliant quotation, and I always remember it. She said to him, "You weep like a child for what you could not defend as a man." You know, it's a fucking killer quotation there. And I just think, like, you're a leader of a country, you should fucking die fighting, mate. Because how many of your soldiers are going to die? So I used to have a high opinion of him. I used to think, yeah, Assad sticking it out in the Middle East, doing the right thing. And I don't really
How
have a high
shit
opinion.
must you be? How shit must you be, or your people must be, for like this war has been 10 years at least on the horizon, and you get taken over within. You've had 10 years to plan for it.
Yeah. You
10
had
years to
help from the
plan.
Russians, help from the Iranians. Why
You've
couldn't
not
you just
sorted this
kill?
out.
Yeah, kill all the rebels. They're not having a revolution in flipping Jordan or what have you. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're not allied. Whatever. I don't know the details, but they should have fixed this problem.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's that story. What else? Are we going to talk about the?
Oh, here we go. All right. Oh, bro.
I don't know, man. I know she's retarded. She looks kind of nice in that photo. She looks kind of happy. There's one happy retard. Just she's not around anymore. It's kind of sad because we do joke about this on the internet, but then it's like she actually really was like a genuine, real human being, and now she's not around anymore. You know?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, this is the schizotypical question. You know, again, taking everything on face value, assuming JF didn't kill her. Again, I know lots of you believe that, but taking it on face value, the thing is, she was a schizotypical person. A schizotypical person can be fairly normal in like 80% of their interactions, but they buy into deep delusions. They're the ones who like believe that they're being watched by the police all the time. There might be cameras in their lights in their living room, or that you are part. Over time, they'll come to believe that you are like plotting against them, and you're part of a big conspiracy, and all this kind of stuff. And it'll come to heads, and they can like have normal functioning lives, but then just like blow up in the craziest of ways. And living with a type person like this can be crazy. And it seems JF had kids with her. He put his dick in crazy.
Did they have children?
Apparently so, yeah, 2.
Where are the children?
With JF.
Oh, right. I didn't realise. Oh, well.
You know, he's back. He finally came back to the internet just whilst we were gone.
Who, JF?
JF, yeah. So
Had he been away? I never watched JF.
He's literally been on the run from the police. So let's just. I'll show a little bit of it. Eh?
Yeah,
I've got the clip lined up. So everybody was wondering where he's been. He literally has been on the run from the police, who basically were accusing him of either killing Mama Jeff or of he's got a new girlfriend now, and I think the deal is that they are accusing him of, like, I don't know, holding this woman against her will or something.
An otter.
Put on full screen.
Man, it's unbelievable, just the headache of the shit of seeing my nation turn to shit like this. And I will never forget the face of my mom as I was leaving Quebec for the last time. And I said goodbye to her forever, because I know that I won't be able to go back there. And she looked at me with distress and said, "Get the fuck out of this shithole, JF." And it's incredible that the place where I lived and grew has been taken over by a bunch of fucking rats. Fucking ugly female rats who have no idea what due process is. And to see my mom know that the place where she lives is such a shithole, and to see that the place where we thought we were free, that it has become this rat-infested place, is the most heartbreaking thing I've had in my life. And that's not even worse. There are people trying to kill Nick Fuentes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
So apparently, just to tie the story up with a bow, apparently JF has moved him. His soul had to sell his house in the province where he lived, Prince Edward Island, because the police were harassing him without any actual evidence, and they were like coming and threatening to take away his children and whatever, and moved all the way across Canada, something like 3,000 miles, to another province in Canada, which is more of a right-wing province. He describes it as the Bible Belt of Canada. He's not exactly sure where he is, but that's what he says, where the police are willing to leave him alone.
Yeah, cool. So we're going to segue into Nick Fuentes. Is that it?
Well, I guess that was the segue, wasn't it?
That was the segue. Oh, yeah. My hot. Have you got video? Because I don't.
I'll look for it.
I'm not a fan of Nick Fuentes, so I'm just scrolling down. I'm not a fan of Nick Fuentes. I think it's fake. That's my hot take. I have no evidence to prove this. But I just think it's all fake, and I think that he's a Fed. I think he's a gay Mexican, and he works for the establishment, and he just goes out there, says a whole bunch of crazy shit just to make nationalists look stupid, and he's made an arse out of himself by supporting Kamala Harris. And so they needed to rehabilitate his image. So first of all, they sent the feminist lady round, and he pepper sprayed her to make him look cool again, but that wasn't enough. And so now they've just done this fake hit job, and now it's like, oh, we have to rally behind Nick Fuentes. I think it's all fake and it's gay and he's a Fed. I have no evidence to prove any of this. That's just gut instinct. So there you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
100%. I have to disavow these crazy conspiracy theories.
Right.
Look, so here it is on Twitter. Nick Fuentes posted to the media, he's talking to Brutus here, which is currently attempting to sweep up the assassination attempt against me. Here is further evidence. The killer drove 2.5 hours directly to my house where he parked, then attempting to gain entry to my home in the front and back for 10 minutes until police arrived. So apparently he killed 3 people in Chicago or something. Then drove to Nick Fuentes' house, parked up here. He comes out with a gun and a crossbow, which is really weird. I mean, that is weird enough. Yeah, the crossbow thing. That's weird enough to make me believe it. Here he is. He's got the crossbow there, and the gun in his left hand.
Yeah. What do you need a crossbow for, mate? He doesn't need a gun.
Because you're mentally ill, that's why. He's already murdered 3 people at this point.
Who did he murder?
I'm not sure, actually. Here he is at the back of Nick's house. By the way, Nick lives in an urban shithole.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I suppose at least he has a house. Probably renting. So there he is at the back. Also interesting to note, Nick uses Ring doorbell. So...
Ring doorbell. Yeah, I don't know, mate. I've got no. Maybe it's true. I don't know. I just do think it's very, very convenient. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I just think it's very convenient. Okay. Because everyone's rallying behind Nick Fuentes now after he made a complete arse out of himself. That's all I'm saying. I've got no evidence. I'm just saying, very convenient.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, obviously we've talked about is Nick Fuentes a Fed in the past. We talked to King's Fool. We had him on, who believes Nick is definitely a Fed. I did an interview with him on SJJ Amos. We looked at more stuff. Hasn't been charged for the Capitol rioting. It's difficult to say.
Well, I don't think it's difficult at all. I think he's a gay Fed. But anyway, I mean, whatever, dude. Like whatever. I just, yeah, just crazy Americans. Their crazy bullshit. Is he really the leader that we want? Right? Is he really, like? I mean, why is he on Twitter and what's his name? Oh, mine's going blank.
Jared Taylor.
Yeah. Why is Nick Fuentes on Twitter and Jared Taylor isn't? Nick Fuentes is like 10 times more radical than Jared Taylor. Jared Taylor is like nice, middle class, educated, well spoken, friendly guy. But he's blacklisted, and instead we've got psychopath, gay Mexican Nick Fuentes. I don't fucking trust the guy. He's a Fed. So that's it, dude. That's it. That's all I got. That's it. Run out of steam. Don't have got anything else to talk about.
Why don't you throw the link in the chat, see if somebody wants to come on?
Oh, I did. Didn't I?
Did you?
Oh, I didn't. No, I threw it in the
Jord
chat.
in the chat. Jord is in the chat. You might go on.
Oh, fucking hell. Hang on. Copy. Let's get Wyvern the Terrible on.
What you're going to want to do, though, right, is pull our icons off the screen because you're liable to get porn bombed. So when somebody comes on, they might just switch on their camera and it's porn.
No, because you see them in the.
Yeah, oh, you can add them. I've had it done to me on a live. You add them and then they switch it on.
Oh, Oh, that sucks. Do they do that?
Yeah,
kind of
so
thing?
yeah. So before you bring randos on, you have to just you just have to click solo layout, pull out icons off the screen.
Should we talk about this while we're waiting?
Yeah.
Can you hear it?
Yes.
Bungle.
We haven't got coffee.
This is the funny
That's
bit.
okay. I'm a tea drinker.
Although we can do tea, but it's English tea.
I don't even know, like, why did he say that?
Why
He's
did
just
she
looking at
say
her like
that?
this. I don't know, man.
What a silly cow.
Anyway, it's just a fluff piece. There's nothing really to it.
It's not British grown, we
Oh,
don't
I
sow it.
see.
It's
Do you have Earl Grey?
No.
She just asks, "Do you have?" Anyway, she's a bit thick,
Oh,
isn't she? Really?
grey. Oh my god.
I mean, let me just like.
Sow it. It's all
Do you have Earl Grey?
So she says,
grown, we
Oh,
don't
I
sow it.
if it's not British grown, we don't sell it. And then she says, do you have Earl Grey? So is Earl Grey grown in Britain? Like, are you paying attention? Right, you
I
want to be
didn't know
Prime
you
Minister.
could grow tea in the UK anyway, to be honest.
Even I know that Earl Grey is grown in flipping, I don't know, India or whatever. Like, is she capable of listening? Like, somebody tells her something. Is she capable of understanding what this person has said and then responding? Like, he literally just says to her, if it's not grown in, look, fucking, it's on the screen. If it's not British grown, we don't sell it. Oh, do you have Earl Grey? Well, is that grown in Britain, Kemi Badenoch?
Yeah, she's doing the best that she can with what she has available.
Yeah, but the thing they even like she put this in as a bit of banter, and it's like, well, I don't know, it makes you look stupid. But anyway, whatever. Fluff piece, fluff piece. Point being, it's Jeremy Clarkson is a hero, he's a legend, and the people are rallying behind him. And what else can we say about this? This is the beauty of having.
Holy cow, look at
reform-
that shadow on his jacket.
Oh yeah, that's a good one, isn't it? Oh man, yeah. This is the benefit of having reform in Parliament, because it forces the Tories to try and like up their game.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all fake and it's all bullshit. This is what I've been saying for years, by the way. Right? This is what I've been saying for about 8 years. UKIP is a stick that you threaten the Tory party with. And by UKIP, I mean Nigel Farage and reform, right? This is the game. This is what works. This is what has worked in the past. This is how British politics works. And this is what's going on here. Because if it wasn't for Nigel Farage, would Kemi Badenoch be talking to Clarkson? I don't know. Yeah. We don't know.
Why do you think he's indulging her?
He just wants to help the farmers.
Okay, right. Yeah, okay, got it. Yeah, okay.
This is hilarious. Here's Rishi. He's in Santa Monica.
You wouldn't know it, would you?
He's in Santa Monica. He's just fucked
You
off.
sure that's not a beach in Korea?
No, that's what America looks like now, mate. I've been there. I've been to Santa Monica.
I know this is low hanging fruit, but this is like a low hanging gotcha, because Rishi Sunak, for all his faults, has actually committed to remaining the MP for Richmond in North Yorkshire rather than moving to live out in California. So he's just there for Christmas. Everybody's got the Christmas holiday off, MPs included. That's why he happens to be there at this time. So it looks bad. Like, the gotcha is, oh look, former Prime Minister, he lost the election, now he's fucked off, living the life on a beach in California, but it's not actually that.
Oh, God. Look at you defending. Is this because you defend Elon Musk? You feel like you've got to defend all the Indians now?
Look, America needs more Rishi Sunaks.
Oh, wow. What is going on, SJJ? Is this because
If
you're so
Ameri-
popular? You're so popular now because of SJJ mass. You got to like have these lukewarm takes.
If
You're
America
literally
doesn't,
transforming into millennial woes. You know. Oh my god.
without more Rishi Sunaks, America will not survive.
I want to give a shout out to this guy because I just found this shout. Nobody follows him. He's my little pet Japanese man that I like to follow on Twitter. I don't know if can you hear this? Why isn't it?
The cheese and ham that you have a black logo on it. What is it for?
Oh, this is GI, geographical indication. It protects real products from
Anyway, whatever. Anyway, this is the diplomat. This is Hiroshi Suzuki. He's only got 2,000 followers. He's the Japanese ambassador to the United Kingdom. Give him a follow. No, this is the better video.
New Japanese ambassador to the UK. I am so excited to be back in London after 12 years.
Oh, mate.
I'm looking forward to traveling throughout the country. Actually, I have a trip coming up to Wales in the near future. But after that, I want to visit Scotland, Northern Ireland, and of course, many different places in England to meet new people. In particular, I want to promote Sakura Cherry Tree Project.
Anyway, whatever. So I just thought I'd just spam that on you. But look, the guy's got like, he does a video like this. This is pinned. It just makes me wonder like how the internet works. He's got 9 people. So you could send him a messenger. He'll probably read it. Okay, so everyone in the chat now, go and spam Hiroshi Suzuki and say, mate, stop inviting all these Africans into Japan because you'll end up being a shithole, a third world shithole like us, or whatever. Say whatever you want. Go there and talk. The ambassador is there. The ambassador for Japan is there. Yeah. He's on Twitter. He's talking to the people. He's making videos. I think you should invite him on SJJ Mass.
Oh my god, I can't invite him on.
Look at all these videos he's got, specifically done for Twitter. Nobody's paying attention. Honestly, the guy should be a legend. Let's reach
I don't
out.
want to have to do serious interviews with people like this. Oh my god, can you imagine?
Yeah, it'd be hilarious. I posted this. I mean, I don't know, like, have you guys seen this or not? I mean, I didn't get much response to it. People just kind of ignored it. Do we want to watch it and rage over it? Do we want to get angry about this?
What is it?
Have you not seen this? All right, well, let's fucking watch it then. Let's fucking watch it. Because you've been busy with SJJ Mess. So we'll watch this.
Oh, I saw you post this. I didn't get around. No, I've not seen it. Is it YouTube terms of service friendly? It's on your YouTube already, I guess.
It's on YouTube. Okay. Well, we'll watch this. Everyone, we can watch this together. This is the Anglo hate train. This is why I fucking hate Nazis, right? This guy here is cultured thug, and he's talking to some random American dude. Where's the volume? Let's just have a listen to what they've got to say about England.
I think personally that if Germany falls, that Europe's lost, because everybody who studied history has known that Germany has always been the backbone of Europe, and the situation over there right now is it's more than worrisome. It's a precarious situation. You can't even send the opinion without going to jail. It's like I don't know how they're going to push back and fight this infiltration that they're up against right now, man. And like England, for example, I think England's 50, maybe 20 years from now, that's going to be an Islamic country. With the way things are going.
Honestly,
they still want to keep 44.
Not to jump on like the Anglo hater train, but it probably be better off fucking just became Muslim. Goddamn, Britain is fucked so much in Europe. This Britain is fucked up so much in Europe. They're on the wrong side of every war. They've gone out of their way to destroy Europe. They're disgusting. Yeah, but then I don't mean that for British individuals as themselves, but they can't deny what their country has done, and even with their imperialism, they opened up a lot of the white world to the brown world through their imperialism, and then through letting it fail, and then not only letting it fail, going on a suicidal war against Europe. And at the same time, letting all their colonies fail because of that. It's they've been on the wrong side of so much. They're a part of so much evil. I've always said like England is like, or the English are the Jews of Europe essentially, and it's but you know that's not against any individual British person, but they have to account for what their government and their arrogance has created, and they've been in bed with the Jews since Cromwell and before. So it's yeah. I don't know. They've been a part of so much bad. It's hard to have empathy.
It's interesting how quickly the other guy responds. He just quickly switches his opinion. He's like, "Oh yes," starts nodding his head.
For them when you see what they did to the Germans, you see what they did to the Italians.
Fucking Dresden. Dresden is dead.
No,
It's so cliched. Oh,
I've read Hellstorm in its entirety. Like I've never read a book that I actually made me scream motherfucker. And it took me like an extra couple months to read it because it was just too much to take psychologically.
Yeah.
Emotionally. Like those you're right, man. It's like, you know, a lot of us, you know, whites, we have to judge on the individual. It's like, all right, well, I mean, you judge on the individual until you end up in a black neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then you're looking at the group.
Yeah.
You know? Unfucking real.
So there we have all of the
I actually know who that guy was as well.
Cliched.
It's an old clip.
Yeah, it's old. It's old. I mean, this is one of the reasons.
This is like 2019 or something, 2018.
Yeah. This is one of the reasons I turned against all this shit back in 2020, because of clips like this. People used to send me clips like this. By the way, people watching this, like if you want to clip people on the dissident right saying anti-English stuff, you can send it to me and I'll post it on YouTube. But all the cliches are there. All the neo-Nazi cliches are there. England are the Jews of Europe. The empire is bad. Conquering the world is bad, apparently. Dresden was so
horrific. Unless you're German.
Unless you're German, in which case it's good. Dresden, so much emotional. Oh, look at me. I'm such a good person because I had a really, really strong reaction to reading about Dresden that I couldn't read it for a month. That's how good I am as a person. I care so much. I'm so indoctrinated into this cult that I was curled up in a ball in the corner and crying about it. It's like, fucking hell, mate. It's history. Like, whoa, dude.
Yeah, but what I don't understand is why these people don't have the same reaction to reading about like 2 million Polish people, you know, dying in work camps.
Yeah. Because they're not German. They're not the German master race. So
yeah, but neither are these guys.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's crazy. I think the guy on the right looks. The guy on the right looks white. I mean, Culture Thug is like a Latino. He's got some like.
Oh, is he
half Italian or something? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, but the guy. What would have happened in 1938, roughly, when the Germans were rounding up unsavory characters and the work shy in Germany? I forget what that thing was called. They had a program. Anyway, look up the work shy. They were put into camps, and it was basically people like this on the right, people who were considered, you know, socially not good for social order. Like, so a guy like this with I'm not, maybe at the time he wouldn't be like, but like tattoos, an outcast from society, a weirdo, a fringe idiot. He'd have been in a work camp. He'd have been rounded up.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah. I'm trying to find it. I thought I was following this guy and I can't find his Twitter thing. Oh, I thought I'd followed him, but I can't find it. But there is a Twitter guy on Twitter, surprisingly enough, who goes by the name of Hitler Hated Slavs. And the entire Twitter account is just like post after post after post. Oh wait, I found him. Here we go. Let me just shill this channel for you. Present, share screen. Here we go. Hitler hated Slavs. Can you see that? So it's just debunking the false notion that National Socialism was supportive of Slavic people that hated Hitler and had any positive regard for them. I mean, maybe you could get him on SJ James, but we need to ally ourselves with this guy because he's a German woman enduring public humiliation for being in a relationship with a Polish man. Sign she wore proclaimed, "I am expelled from the people's community under the NSDAP regime. Relationships between Germans and Poles were strictly prohibited."
Be careful of what he might have on his timeline. Not everything might be YouTube friendly if he has like atrocities.
A lot of it's just books like this. He's just
right.
actually I haven't really gotten into his. Yeah, a lot of it's not so many pictures. But anyway, there you go. The Russian space is our India. And just as the English rule it with a handful of people, so we will rule our colonial space. It would be wrong to want to educate the native. You know, it's fucking insane. The savior of the white race, Adolf Hitler, right? Unless you are Slavic.
Oh yeah, but it wasn't his fault.
It wasn't his fault. It was Churchill's fault. Oh my god!
It was Churchill. It was. Yeah. You've seen that meme, haven't you? Why did America put all its bases around Iraq? Well, like, why did European countries put themselves all around Germany?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't know. It's nuts. I mean, it's a cult. I'm not talking to these people. You know?
Oh, your mic's just gone. Touch your wire.
You hear me?
Still gone a bit.
What?
Yeah, still ropey.
Fuck, dude, I didn't even touch anything.
Now it's back. You're back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, been alright for such a long time. Maybe it's because we're talking about this. I don't know. Anyway, there you go. Yeah, it's a cult. It's a cult. It's a cult. It's a cult. There's that. And that's it. What do you want to talk about next? What do you got planned for SJJ Mass?
Did anybody join? Did anybody join the show or not? Nobody took.
Nobody comes on. I don't know, man. I did post it in the chat. It's there. Nobody wants to come on.
Oh well. Yeah. So SJJ Mass. Well, it's almost done. I'm almost done with it. It's been a roaring success, basically. If it ended now, I'd be happy with it. It started as a joke. David Yorkshire just wanted to I don't know, have a rant about you, so I got him on my show, and I realised it's December, so I'll title this SJ James #1. And what if I try and get somebody
I like the fact that SJ James started with Mjolnir at the movies, and they're going to go at me. It was literally the genesis.
Yes, basically. So I thought, in December, I thought, why not just see if I can get somebody on every single day and see how this ball rolls. And so I did that Twitter post, SJ James is open for business. I messaged a few people. People started to message me, and it just carried on. And now 28 episodes in. That's not all interviews. It's about 24 interviews or something like that, with a few shows, a few other gimmicks. I opened some Christmas cards, like Millennial Rose does.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Yeah, this is how we win. Networking, social proof. I mean, just if we're talking shop in front of the audience, but I mean, this is the game. This is how the DR works. It's this is how Millennial Woes is famous. It's just like you invite a bunch of people on your show, and then you look like you're important. And in a similar way, you invite a bunch of people on the SJJ mess. All of a sudden, SJJ is a hero, you know. And
you see that quote I posted on Twitter that somebody left a comment saying, I didn't have SJJ running the third biggest Dissident Right Festival on my bingo card or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I ask you, who's the second one?
Obviously I don't know. I assume they mean that thing that Frody does, where people go on and talk about movies.
Oh right, okay.
Frody Midjord does something and gets guests on for a period of 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm guessing that's what they mean. I don't know of any others.
Yeah. Well, you got the big fish. You got Iconoclast. So
I did.
that was good. Maybe next year you'll be able to get Dangerfield on. Maybe I don't know, but you'll be able to.
Woodlander has left me a message. I DM'd you about this, didn't I? Woodlander's left me a message and said, "I've got." Oh, where is it?
I don't even know who this guy is. I've heard you mention him, but that's it.
He's left me a message saying, "We should have a chat. You haven't got what we are doing quite right." So he's watched he's been in the chat on a few SJ Jameses. And I would be brutally honest. I just I wear it on my sleeve. I tell you guys all about this. I'm not an e-celebrity, and so I just when somebody like Woodlander messages me, or or I get Iconoclast, and I'm like, what the fuck oh my god, what should I do? Should I talk to the Woodlander and ask him about his project and tell me what you're doing, Woodlander, blah 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 blah. Oh yes, that's very good. Blah 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 blah.
I don't even know who he is.
My instinct would be to to get Woodlander on and go, I don't really want to do this kind of shit, Woodlander. Like living in the woods, hiding under the bushes.
All you got to do is Socratic method. This is what I told to Presley.
I know, but I don't want to do boring shit either.
But it's interesting. You just ask why, basically. That's it. Her interview was actually really good. I really enjoyed it because she asked me a question and I answered it, and then she just asked me another question, and we just went deeper and deeper, and it was interesting. So it's really just the Socratic method. You just say, "What do you think about this?" And then they'll talk, and then you politely listen, and you say, "But what about this?" And then they talk, and then you listen, and that's it. I'm very bad at this, but
people expect something else from my shows. I think now they expect me to ruffle some feathers, or they expect me to at least if I think different, if I don't like something, to wear it on my sleeve and be honest about it. My honest thing is that being off grid sucks. It sucks dick. I hate it. I've driven to places where I don't have a phone signal, and I feel I start to have a panic attack. So being off grid sucks. It's the last thing I'd want to do.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking Zoomer, man. Jesus.
I told you about something that I was doing last Christmas, if you remember, and it sent me to some really remote places.
Right.
And I was like, this sucks, being in the middle of nowhere. The nearest shop is 20 minutes away, and I've got one bar on my phone. What if I have a flat tire? What am I? All this existential angst built up in me. So
you're so flipping tough martial artist guy, and you get scared of going into the forest. What the fuck, dude? Holy fuck!
No, it was
your generation's screwed. Yeah, you need to genuinely, not even joking.
The inconvenience factor of it.
You need to make a habit of going out into nature. If that is really an issue, then you need to go for long walks in the countryside and get that out your system, mate, while you're still young and your brain is malleable. I mean, this is why, again, we've talked about this before, but young children going on camping trips, when you do it, you just think, oh yeah, whatever. But it actually is really, really, really important to have that memory in your head. Waking up in a tent, smelling the campfire, or going for a walk in the countryside, getting your feet all soggy and wet, walking in the rain, whatever, the whole thing. You absolutely need this to be part of your life, or at least have the memory of it. Otherwise, you're going to be like you, having a panic attack because you go in the forest.
Well, I'm exaggerating. Not a panic attack, but I was like, this is inconveniencing. How do people live out here? You can't
last
get
time
a phone
I went
signal.
Last time I went to Exmoor, I chased a herd of horses through the forest. Wild horses. Yeah. Well, they all ran away. They probably could have turned around and trampled me to death if they wanted to. But I was just like, oh,
wait, you're afraid of cows?
Cows kill people. That's why. I'm not afraid of
Right.
them. I just know about it. That's all. It's people in this country don't understand that cows are the number one killer in the country. They kill more people than dogs.
What the heck?
They kill like 100 or so people a year. And if you think about it, they're only killing people that walk in the countryside. And not everybody walks in the countryside. And people that do, they'll go to like some national trust, nice thing. So not only are they only killing people that walk in the countryside, they're only killing people that go off grid enough to jump over a fence into a farmer's field and walk through a herd of cows. That's the only people that they're killing. And that is a small number of people. So you jump over a hedge or a gate and you walk into a field of cows, you are running the risk of getting trampled to death.
Yeah.
It's not a joke. It's not a joke. I had this experience last summer. I was walking up this field and there were these two young ladies and they're walking and I said, "Oh, the cows out in the field." And like these two young Zoomer girls, they're like, "Oh yeah, mate, yeah, don't be worried about the cows." And I'm just like thinking, yeah, you just don't know. You just don't know. Like you haven't looked at the statistics. They fucking kill people. I've been pinned against a hedge by cows. Excuse me. I'm just choking up. Well, I've been pinned against a hedge. Like I walked into a field, they all came, they fucking surrounded me, and these are big animals, and they're like, like this, and I'm against the hedge. And I had
Didn't
to
you make yourself big and go, whoa, make loads of noise?
I just talked to him, tell him to calm down. Like, just fucking calm down, mate. Like
What did you say? It's okay. I'm a Hindu.
I went in, yeah, basically. I went into a field and they were following me. And this one cow, you know, when they get agitated and they kind of jump and they're on their field and he was shaking his head and like fucking getting all like worked up and angry. And I was like, just calm down, mate. Calm the fuck down, you know. And then just had to jump over the hedge. Like they're dangerous. Ask Varg Vikernes, because I posted this on Twitter. The one time Varg Vikernes agreed with anything that I say, he was like, "Yeah, mate, fucking cows, they're dangerous."
Wow.
Yeah. Got to be cow-pilled. You know?
Yeah.
Big animals.
Oh, by the way, share my screen. I've got an example of like being in the middle, here in the middle of nowhere. This is my best series of videos, by the way, in my Rules for Life on my backup channel. Musk Maximalist, my Rules for Life, 30 Rules for Life here. And here I ended up at the top.
To make this very simple.
Right. Look here. I was in the middle of a military firing range.
I think red means danger.
And I'm like, what am I doing here? Let's make a video. But how did I end up in the middle of fucking nowhere?
Danger, military firing range. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. Like the Nazis, they always go for the homosexual insult. Do you know what I mean?
Oh no, you've done it again. He's not a Nazi.
I know. Well, I'm going to fucking do it. If he's going to call me a homosexual, I'm going to call him a Nazi. Fuck you. Jesus Christ. What's wrong with these people? Anyway. Yeah, dude. Watch out for the cows. But yeah, you got to get out in the countryside. You got to do that. You got to do that. Oh, anyway, one last thing we can talk about is this may be the last Anglo Gang for a long, long time. Because... my work schedule has changed and it's all up in the air. So,
but surely you're going to get an evening off at some point, right?
Yeah, we'll do like sporadic. Regularly. We'll do sporadic Anglo Gang.
Are you not going to have a regular evening?
I don't know. It's all up in the air, mate. Basically, it's all fucked. So that's all I can say.
Holy cow!
It's always this time of year. Has always been shite for me for whatever reason. Like this time of year for the last 3 years running has just been a nightmare. I don't know why, but there you go.
Yeah. Well, look, you've got to get one night off a week. If it's a regular one and you're not on irregular shifts, we can just switch the night around or whatever. It'd be a shame to lose like the flop. What is it? The pat. We built up. We've done very well of doing this show. In fact, you did really well to get me to actually commit. It's your doing. You got me to commit, and now you're going to say that's it. You got me to commit to the Thursday night. I was like, no, I'm an ADHD spurg, Brutus. I can't commit to every week. And was making him basically ask me every week, are you going to come on the show this week then? I'd be like, oh, okay then, I'll come on this week. But don't make me commit to the next one.
Yeah, yeah, I remember, yeah. Yeah. But you managed it. Well, look, I feel the show has been a success. We got a nice little audience.
Yes.
We got a nice little group on Twitter. And we got Nigel Farage elected, so that was good. And we managed to force the Lotus Eaters to rally behind reform, because obviously they all watch the show. You know, Josh Fern is a big fan of the show. Bo Dale. I mean, I'm kind of joking when I say it, but I think Bo Dale and Josh Fern listened to some of the things we said, some of it. And we did some good networking. You know, as a lead up to SJ Jamis, and primarily. I rescued you from Claire Core. That was always the goal of Anglo Gang. I just thought I thought there's this young guy. Claire, he's doing streams with this old lady. He's wasting his energy. I need to save him. I need to like introduce him to Harian or something like this. You know, just get him away from Claire Core, and it's been a success. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, so there's no point you coming on SJ Jamis to promote Anglo Gang now. The whole plan was to save you till very close to the end, build up the audience, and I've done all that, put all the work in, and now there's no point promoting the show.
Nah.
Like, fucking hell.
Well, you're going to carry on. Well, whatever. I mean, we'll talk again. You're going to do interviews throughout the year, though, aren't you? You're going to keep going, aren't you?
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. It does. SJ Jamis does end on Sunday night. I've got guest book for Sunday evening already. I've got the guy that you put me on with on Saturday. That's Saturday at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Got somebody tomorrow night. Yeah.
Good. It's good. Yeah. I've got videos coming out. I'm doing my book thing, getting into it, getting into my reading. Because I guess New Year's coming, so you got to have a time of self-reflection. My self-reflection, self-improvement, New Year's resolution. It's not really a New Year's resolution because I started doing it already. But my realization this year is just do one thing at a time, basically. Make your life simple. Focus your energy. Don't try and splay your energy out, trying to do too many things. I just want to do my reading, basically. I'm just into it. Like, if I focus on the reading, then I will read every day for like 2 hours a day or 3 hours or whatever. And I get the reading done and I can progress with that. If I'm focusing on other things, I find it hard to sit down and concentrate and read, to be honest with you. I just think like it makes your mind calmer. It's more peaceful because you wake up in the morning, you're like, what am I doing today? You know, apart from work and domestic whatever, it's like, what am I achieving? And it's like, oh, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I've got one thing, and as long as I do a little bit on that one thing today, then I've done something useful, you know. So that's my realization. That's my end of year realization. I'm just going to keep going with the reading. I've got so many. I really want to get back into the mythology, to be honest with you. Like, I've started with all this science fiction malarkey because I like a bit of sci-fi, but I've just picked up Acer's Alfred the Great. I'm really thinking I'd like to read the Iliad again and the Odyssey and the Aeneid. and I'd like to just delve back into the mythology, because, like, you know, human knowledge starts with mythology, essentially. Even before philosophy, you've just got the stories. That's the real beginning. And I think, like, start with that and then move forwards.
Yeah, that's obviously not what I'm doing. I won't be dedicating to reading or philosophy. I won't be reading the Odyssey or the Iliad. Those are my commitments for the year. No, I don't know. Basically, look, any celebrity like me who's done so much work over Christmas is now going to be exhausted until next Christmas, at which point I'll, get back to you all and solicit your donations.
You're going to do a dry January. You don't need to do a dry January because you're always dry. So there you go.
I am. Yes.
I'm going to do a dry January. Every year I do a dry January. It's good. It's good. Thoroughly recommend it. January and February are like the two shittest months of the year. Nobody's got any money. The weather's rubbish. Everyone's just waiting for spring. There's nothing to do.
They're the cold months as well.
They're the coldest months. Yeah. Coldest months of the year.
Do you remember that snow that snow that we had in like 2011 or 2012? That's the last snow that I remember, by the way. That was February.
Yeah.
There's a hill near me, pretty big hill, to get to a main road, and there's so many cars crashing trying to get up and down this hill because it had like frozen like a river of ice.
Right. Yeah. January and February are the coldest months of the year. I'm a great believer that the year starts in March, because it used to, in old England, in merry old England, the year would start in March. That is why the tax year ends in April, by the way, in case you guys didn't know. But in terms of astrotheology,
it should end at the winter solstice, really. In terms of December.
In terms of astrotheology, the first constellation, right, is Aries, and we enter into Aries in March. This is why March is called March, because it's named after Mars, and Mars rules over Aries, you see. And then you go into April. April is named after Aphrodite. Aphrodite is, of course, Venus, and Venus rules over Taurus, which is the second month, right? So that is how we used to celebrate the beginning of the year in old medieval England. And it was the Catholic Church that changed it, so we celebrate in the middle of the year. And actually, in this country, we didn't switch over until I think like 1750. Like we stuck to our guns for like a few centuries, and then we just tried to change our minds basically, and went along with the Catholic Church and the rest of the world. But it makes sense to start the year in spring. Yeah.
Well, I would have thought that the winter solstice should be the end of the year. That would make sense to me.
Yeah, because you worship Satan.
Because it's just like harvest, isn't it? It's obvious. I mean, you don't believe that we're revolving around the sun, so I mean, you don't care about it.
Well, that doesn't even matter. I mean, the point is, like,
you're Hail Woden. You're like the Hail Woden guy.
Yeah. So.
Right.
I'm just saying we live in a world run by Satanists, okay, and Saturn rules over winter, because Saturn rules over Capricorn and Aquarius. Okay, this is why the winter is shit and cold and nasty. It's ruled over by Saturn. Saturn is Satan.
Right.
You see what I mean? He's the old, angry man who ruled over Rome. And then the Christians took over and they turned Saturn into Satan. They pushed him down into hell because they're like, he's evil, don't worship him. But Saturn was the king of the gods in old Roman theology, right? Because Saturn is old father time. He is Kronos, and he gives birth to Zeus or Jupiter, or whatever you want to call them, right? Whether you want to take the Greek names or the Roman names, but he is old father time. He is the origin of all the other gods. They are all his children. So he's the king of the gods. And in winter, the Romans would celebrate Saturnalia. And I feel like we're starting to celebrate Saturnalia again. I feel like it's coming back, to be honest with you, because nobody worships Jesus anymore. The whole winter festival is all about Father Christmas. It's not about Jesus. Father Christmas is like one of the most powerful deities in this world that is actually genuinely worshipped by children because they all pray to him for their presents. He has magical powers. He flies through the sky, goes down into
He knows if you've been naughty or nice.
He does, yeah. Goes down the chimney, you know. He's from the north. So he's kind of like become the god of Saturnalia in a strange kind of weird way. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just saying it's all shifting. Like it I don't know if Christmas is a Christian festival anymore. It seems like it's becoming something else. And it's a long festival. It's not like a one-day festival because the build-up is towards New Year. So you've got 25. What?
I was just going to say, interestingly on that point, I looked at my parents' Christmas cards this year. They get lots of Christmas cards. I barely get any. It's a generational thing. But so they had like 40 Christmas cards, or 50 or 60. I didn't count, but not one of them had any religious connotation on them whatsoever. For the first time that I've noticed that, because I was doing my Christmas card stream, which is a piss take. So I need a few Christmas cards as props. So I get them off my parents, like what their neighbours have sent them. And I wanted one like with a Jesus scene on the front of it to make fun of Claire Core, and there wasn't one.
Oh, hello. Oh my God, SJJ, what's happened to you? Did you hear that voice in the background? It went like that. Did you hear that? Was that just me? We've lost SJJ. We've lost him. Are we still live? Yes. Is anybody in the chat?
Hold on, I pulled my microphone out. Fucking hell. So yes, so I couldn't get a Christmas card with a Jesus scene on.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was I yeah, not a single one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, but the point I wanted to make, just while we're rambling about, so we got 25, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, roughly. If you include Christmas Eve and Christmas, all the way up to New Year, or New Year's Day, that's 8 days. So however which way you want to count it, but it is essentially, because everybody's on holiday, everybody's got time off, and they're waiting for New Year's. Nobody goes to work. The whole flipping country is on holiday. And I just don't think this Christmas holiday, this winter festival, or whatever you want to call it, I don't think it's organized very well. Because now it's Boxing Day. It's like, well, what do I do tomorrow? Everyone's just kind of like moping around. They're not guided.
No, but we have New Year. And actually, I disagree 100%. I think it's perfect. Like we're here. We've gone past the shortest day of the year already. We're past it. We're out the other side. Days are now getting longer, although you don't start to notice it yet. And we have the New Year yet to celebrate. So that's another week away. Between now and then is the time when people shop. They're going out. There's sales on. This festival is perfectly placed by social engineers who knew what they were doing to get us through the darkest days of winter. And yeah, it's in the middle of January before you realise it, and you feel like, holy fuck, I've overspent, I'm fat, and and I need to get to the end of January to get paid again.
No, I'm not against it. I like Saturnalia. I'm just saying, like, you have Christmas Eve, okay, you got Christmas, okay, you got Boxing Day, okay, and then you've got how many days? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 days until it's New
Yes.
Year's Eve. So what happens in those 4 days? We need to name these days. We need to have some kind of event, some kind of ritual, some kind of something. That's all I'm saying. If we're going to do
they
this
used to
winter,
have names, didn't they? They do have official names. The 12 Days of Christmas or something, isn't it?
no, that's the build up to Christmas, isn't it?
I'm not sure. These are feast days, aren't they, in Christian calendar or something?
Well, whatever the case, I mean, probably something existed in the past. I mean, I don't know, but what I'm saying is that because whatever the case, we need to do something. There should be like some kind of English, British festival that we celebrate. Like maybe like tomorrow could be the Goddess Britannia Day or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they're just shopping days. Look, we live in a materialist society. We live in a large shopping mall called the United Kingdom. These are shopping days, and for the rest of you, they're working days. And really what they are is they are days that you should have taken off of work. You should have planned your holidays off work accordingly and booked them off of work to get a longer period off of work around these bank holiday days.
You could have Lord of the Rings Day. I'm just saying it's up for grabs, okay? If there's anybody out there, they want to develop their religion, right? Because we want to have the rebirth of the white race. We've got to develop some kind of pagan religion. There are 4 days here where the whole country is in a festive mood. They're not doing anything. They're just sitting around eating mince pies. So here's an opportunity, guys. We could make tomorrow whatever day, Woden's Day, Odin's Day, whatever you want to invent, like go to the English beach and take bath in, because they do this actually. That's like a thing now, isn't it? People jump into the sea at Christmas or whatever. So maybe we could pick one day and that's the thing that you do. Or maybe one day is like the day that you have to go into the forest. Or maybe one day is the day that you have to play football, or you have to, I fucking don't know, mate. Like somebody can invent something. There's a million different ritualistic behaviors that people could invent. You know what I mean? Lord of the Rings Day, right? The opportunity is there. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Do you not feel what I'm saying?
I don't know. I think these things are spaced out importantly on purpose to get, like I say, my theory is it was a social engineering project to get people through winter. That's why you have actually Black Friday is a new one, isn't it? At the end of November. That's a new one. That's part of social engineering too, to allow people to buy gifts cheaply ready for Christmas 1 month away.
Yeah.
And then we have preparing for Christmas. We see all the Christmas stuff. Everybody's getting in the festive mood. Before you know it, everybody always says this every year, I can't believe it's Christmas already. So, and then Christmas is upon you. And then all of a sudden, you have time hanging out with friends and family at Christmas, and then it's New Year. And it's January is the worst thing. You're right, whatever. Name them if you fucking want.
Yeah. Well, I'm just making the point. There needs to be a spiritual rebirth. And if you want a spiritual rebirth, you've got to have festival days. And then all that happens is you celebrate those days year after year after year after year. And then they become ingrained on your mind. And they form and they shape the culture. Christmas is like the only flipping European religious festival that anybody celebrates or takes